I started drinking in my late teens, and addiction happens very slowly before your own eyes that you can't even see it. You know, I'd get up daily, I would go to work, and I could function through the day till the 5 o'clock mark without any drinking. So in my mind, I wasn't an alcoholic because I didn't have to have it all day. But then I become somewhat miserable, just stuck in that routine of constantly waking up, nausea, not feeling good, whole hangover. Go to work, midday, start feeling better. I'm not gonna drink today. The minute I get off work, straight to the liquor store, here we go again. I would generally always be mowing the grass for say on Sundays. And I'd spend a lot of time drinking on the lawnmower, mowing the grass. And God would speak to me during these days. I always felt like I was being pulled. I was being convicted of drinking. I know that. And I know I was supposed to quit. And I always would come off the lawnmower with a buzz, intoxicated, and come in the house, and I'd tell my wife that, you know, God's speaking to me again, and I'm supposed to quit all this, I'm supposed to surrender, I'm supposed to do something with youth. And we would start going to a small church down the road from us, and then God would get louder, and I would run. And then I would say, leading up to the day that my life changed, we probably stayed out of church for 6 months. There were several things that happened within this time period. The Coffee A Go-Go ice cream trailer, coffee trailer, belonged to my wife's grandmother's best friends, and they're an elderly couple. They had us come over and look at it and offered us to buy it and start something as a part-time job. And we thought about it and considered doing that moving forward. And then that particular Wednesday of that week, I had caught a stomach bug and I had laid out of work. That Friday I returned to work, still somewhat sick, under the weather, not myself per se. And my manager and I had some words and I quit my job. My wife was the admissions director at a long-term care nursing facility. And I called her and I was like, hey, I just quit my job. And she was like, no, what are you gonna do? And I said, well, we'll just sell ice cream. And she says, no, you can't sell ice cream for a living. It's not gonna happen. I'm tired of being the adult here. You're gonna figure something else out. Well, that Saturday, I drank a lot, of course. My wife's mad, jobless, got this ice cream trailer we're considering doing. Well, that Sunday comes that we were asked to come to Christ Chapel. And when I go in that Sunday morning, we go at 8 o'clock, and the place is really packed out, I guess, with the guy there singing and our leading worship. And I start having, I guess, what you would consider an anxiety or panic attack. I've never had one. I assume that's what it was. I tell my wife that I've got to go get something to drink. So I walk out of there and head out and get a drink. And she says at that time she felt like we were fixing to leave, that God must be getting loud in my ear again, and I got uncomfortable. Well, when I returned from getting a drink, he's done singing, and Billy is on, starts preaching the message of the day, and part of it says, you know, that God opens doors for people to walk through. And sometimes they won't step out in faith or move through that door, and the door will close. Or other times they may start moving in that direction, and they'll get a rub from people that tell them not to do it. So it might even be their wife rubs them and says, you can't do this. And then the part the first part that God spoke through him to me was, clear out of the blue, he says in this message, if you want everybody to like you, just sell ice cream. And at the end of it, he goes, I hope whoever this message was intended for, that God has made them so uncomfortable in their own skin today that he knows that I'm talking to them when When we got in the car to leave, my wife looked over at me and she says, don't go on that job interview tomorrow. Let's sell ice cream. And I never touched alcohol since. There was no question. That was God speaking to us that day. God lined all this up, and I never seen it. And if I wouldn't have stepped out in faith the day that I did, I wouldn't have seen it, but it all served a purpose. So we're coming up nearly 3 years now of beating my addiction, of God beating my addiction. I didn't plan on quitting. I didn't ask to quit. My wife now explains to me that she prayed for that. I'm sure grandmothers, mothers, wives, kids are constantly praying for you. So you never know when God can intervene and change your life. It was hard. The very beginning was extremely hard, but I knew God helped me through it. After 15, 18 years of constantly drinking, the sober me was a completely different person that I didn't know. It's like I had to look at life through a different set of eyes. There's no age limit of God resetting your life. Even mine at that point, at 41 years old, you would have thought that was the way I was going to be the rest of my life. And I feel like I'm a completely different person now. I actually enjoy living life.